They claimed these foods were specifically designed to be addictive.
Addictive? Like a bad habit you can't stop? But we're talking about everyday food, right? How can food be addictive?
That's exactly what makes this story so shocking. And that was just the beginning. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Daily News English Podcast. I'm Anna.
And I'm Peter. We're so happy you're here to learn English with us today.
We always bring you the most interesting news from around the world, and today is no different.
Today, we're diving into a really big story. San Francisco declares war on ultra-processed foods. City sues food giants over health crisis.
Yes, Peter, it's a huge headline. This story connects right back to what we were just talking about, those addictive foods.
That's right, Anna. San Francisco is actually taking some of the biggest food companies to court.
So, Peter, can you tell our listeners what a lawsuit is? It's a very important word here.
Of course, Anna. A lawsuit is when a person or a group, like the city of San Francisco, officially takes another person or company to a court of law.
They do this to try and solve a disagreement or to get money for something bad that happened. It's like a big legal fight.
Exactly. And in this case, San Francisco is starting a lawsuit against some really famous companies.
Companies like Kellogg's, Nestle, Coca-Cola, and PepsiCo. These are huge names in the food world.
They are. And the main reason for this lawsuit is something called ultra-processed foods. Have you heard of them, Anna?
I have, but for our listeners, it's a good idea to explain. What exactly are ultra-processed foods?
Well, imagine a fresh apple. That's not processed. Now imagine apple juice. That's a bit processed.
Okay, I'm following.
But ultra-processed foods are things that are made in factories. They often have many ingredients you wouldn't find in your kitchen.
Like strange chemicals or a lot of sugar and salt, right?
Yes, things like sugary cereals, packaged cookies, chips, soda, and frozen meals. They're changed a lot from their natural state.
So the city of San Francisco is saying that the manufacturers of these foods, the companies that make them, are causing big health problems.
That's the core of it, Anna. They say these manufacturers knew their products were harming people's health but kept selling and marketing them anyway.
Wow, that's a serious claim. They're saying the companies had this information for a long time.
Yes, and they're calling it a public health crisis.
A public health crisis means a very big problem that affects the health of many, many people in a community or country.
And San Francisco says these companies actually engineered these foods.
Engineered sounds like they carefully planned and designed them, not just cooked them up.
Exactly. They were engineered to taste super good, so people would want to eat more and more. They even say they were made to be addictive.
It's scary to think food could be designed to make us eat too much without even realizing it.
The city says this leads to people overeating, which means eating more food than your body needs.
And that can cause bigger problems like weight gain or even serious illnesses, right?
Absolutely. The lawsuit argues that the costs to treat these health issues like heart disease, cancer, and diabetes are huge, billions of dollars every year.
And who pays for that? The cities, the states, and regular people, not the food companies, the manufacturers.
Right. The lawsuit also mentions that these foods often contain things like preservatives and sweeteners.
Preservatives help food last longer on the shelf, so it doesn't go bad quickly.
And sweeteners make food taste sweet, often without using natural sugar. But sometimes they can be just as unhealthy.
San Francisco even says these companies used tactics like Big Tobacco used many years ago.
What kind of tactics are we talking about, Anna?
Things like targeting children with cartoon characters on cereal boxes, or aiming ads at low-income families and specific communities.
That sounds really unfair if they knew the food was harmful.
The city says the science now is undeniable. They have so much proof that ultra-processed foods are linked to health problems.
So what do the food companies say about all this, Anna?
Well, some of the companies haven't responded yet, but a group that represents many food makers, the Consumer Brands Association, says there isn't one clear scientific definition of ultra-processed foods.
That's an interesting point. So, if there's no clear definition, how can you sue them for making something that isn't clearly defined as bad?
And they also say that their companies follow all the rules set by the government, like the Food and Drug Administration.
They also mentioned that they are trying to make healthier options, like adding more protein or taking out certain colors.
So, it's a he said, she said situation. The city says the science is clear, and the companies say it's not, and they follow the rules.
It's definitely a big legal battle ahead. San Francisco wants the companies to pay for the harm they've caused and change their ways.
Now is a great time to pause and check out the vocabulary for this story. Okay, Peter, let's break down some of those key words we just heard. First up, addictive. We used this right at the start.
Yes, something addictive means it's so pleasing or exciting that you want more and more of it, and it's hard to stop. Like when you can't stop watching a fun TV show or eating just one chip.
Good example. Next, we talked about a lawsuit.
A lawsuit is a formal complaint made in a court of law. It's when someone sues another person or company because they believe they were wronged.
And the whole reason for the lawsuit is these ultra-processed foods.
Right. Ultra-processed foods are foods that are heavily changed from their natural state, usually in a factory, with lots of extra ingredients like artificial colors, flavors, sugar, and salt. Think packaged snacks.
Like a candy bar instead of an apple. Then we had manufacturers.
Manufacturers are companies or people who make products, especially in large quantities. So, the food companies are the food manufacturers.
Got it. And the city called it a public health crisis.
A public health crisis is a really big health problem that affects a lot of people in a country or community, like a widespread illness or a major health concern for everyone.
They also said these foods were engineered.
To engineer something means to design and build it carefully and skillfully, often using scientific knowledge. So, these foods weren't just made, they were designed for a specific effect.
We heard about two types of ingredients, preservatives and sweeteners.
Preservatives are substances added to food to stop it from spoiling or going bad quickly. They help food stay fresh longer.
And sweeteners are substances used to make food taste sweet, often instead of sugar or in addition to it.
The goal of these foods, according to the lawsuit, was to make people overeat.
To overeat simply means to eat too much food, more than your body needs. It can make you feel too full or even sick.
And related to that, they mentioned addiction.
Addiction is a strong and harmful need to regularly have something, like a specific food, or to do something, like playing video games, even when you know it's bad for you. It's very hard to stop.
Lastly, the health problems were described as chronic illness.
A chronic illness is a long-lasting health condition that usually cannot be cured completely but can often be managed. Examples are diabetes or heart disease, which last for a long time.
And the lawsuit wants restitution and civil penalties.
Restitution is payment made to someone for loss or damage. So, the companies would pay back for the harm caused.
And civil penalties are fines or punishments, usually money, that a court orders someone to pay because they broke a law, but not a criminal law. It's like a fine for bad behavior that caused harm.
This is a really interesting and important topic. What do you think about it?
Yes, for our listeners, we have a question for you. Do you try to avoid ultra-processed foods in your daily life? Why or why not? So, to quickly summarize today's big story, the city of San Francisco has filed a major lawsuit against several huge food manufacturers.
They claim these companies have caused a public health crisis by making and marketing ultra-processed foods that are designed to be addictive and lead to people overeating.
San Francisco argues that these foods, filled with things like preservatives and sweeteners, contribute to serious chronic illness, and that the companies knew about the harm.
This lawsuit seeks restitution and civil penalties, hoping to make these companies take responsibility for the health costs and change how they make and sell their products.
It's a fascinating legal battle that could change how we all think about the food we eat.
Thank you so much for joining us on Daily News English Podcast. We hope you learned some new words and enjoyed our discussion.
Don't forget to like this episode, subscribe to our channel for more English learning fun, and leave a comment below telling us what you think about this story.
We love hearing from you. See you next time.
Bye!